Um, when you walk out of your front door in the morning,
Hmm.
do you ever stop to think about the invisible army keeping your neighborhood functioning?
Most people definitely don't.
Right. I mean, really look around. The sidewalks are swept. The streetlights turned on the night before.
Hmm.
The landscaping isn't totally overgrown.
Garbage bins aren't overflowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all just happens behind the scenes while you're, having your morning coffee.
And it's entirely invisible until something breaks.
Yes,
That is basically the hallmark of good municipal management.
it is. And look, you already know the sheer volume of spinning plates required to keep a town council running. The contractors, the
Mhm.
compliance audits, the resident complaints.
It's endless.
It really is. But today, we are looking at the hidden tech debt that's dragging these operations down. So, welcome to our deep dive into the surprisingly complex, high-stakes world of municipal estate management.
It's a fascinating topic.
We're going to explore how a massive digital workflow revolution is quietly changing the way our towns and cities are run.
And for you, as someone living in these spaces or perhaps working adjacent to them, understanding how this architectural shift in software is evolving is crucial
Absolutely.
because it directly impacts your daily environment, your safety, and frankly, the financial health of your community.
Okay, so let's unpack this. To guide us today, we're pulling from a really interesting document titled Modernizing Municipal Management, the Digital Workflow Revolution.
A great source. It lays out the actual mechanics of managing these massive residential estates and public facilities.
Because, we all know the scale of the job that town councils take on. We are way past the era of just sending a caretaker out with a broom.
Oh, way past.
We're talking about a massive web of operational duties,
Right.
lifting, lighting, monitoring, horticulture.
Self-pest control.
Right. Pest control, waste management, structural safety inspections, contractor supervision across dozens of specialized fields.
And the core challenge highlighted in our material isn't just the variety of tasks, it's the rapid exponential expansion.
Okay, break that down for us.
Well, as residential developments grow and more estates fall under town council management, the operational burden doesn't just increase linearly.
It multiplies.
Exactly, it multiplies. Adding just one new residential block doesn't mean you just add one building to a list.
Right.
It means adding thousands of new operational data points, hundreds of new light fixtures, multiple elevator shafts with very specific maintenance cycles,
Complex drainage networks.
complex drainage networks, new waste collection zones, and of course, hundreds of new residents.
Right, the people actually living there.
Yes. Managing multiple specialized contractors across these sprawling infrastructures requires a level of intense daily coordination that simply breaks traditional systems.
It breaks them completely. And, you would think, given the sheer magnitude of this operation and the millions of dollars in budget, that these management teams are running on the most cutting-edge, mission control-style software available.
You would think that.
But here's where we hit the WhatsApp and Excel trap.
This part is wild.
It really is. Despite the massive scale of these operations, an astonishing number of town councils and property managers still rely on glaringly manual processes.
We are talking about paper inspection
It's
forms,
attached to clipboards.
literally attached to clipboards, and massive WhatsApp groups being used for photo updates from the field.
Disconnected contractor reporting system.
And giant, unwieldy Excel spreadsheets to manually compile inspection reports at the end of the month.
It's crazy.
What's fascinating here is the illusion of control that these manual tools create.
An illusion.
Yeah, they give a false sense of security.
But wait, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Sure.
Isn't a WhatsApp group actually highly efficient for a quick fix? Like if a pipe bursts, taking a photo, dropping it in a chat, and having a plumber say, "On my way," feels incredibly responsive. Why fix what isn't broken?
It's a fair question. And for a single building, that kind of ad hoc communication absolutely feels manageable. But the issue is scaling. When you scale that up to dozens of estates, hundreds of buildings, and thousands of residents, that same WhatsApp group transforms from a tool into a massive liability.
Because of the volume.
Yes, it creates catastrophic operational blind spots. A chat thread is unstructured data.
Uh,
You can't run a predictive maintenance report on a WhatsApp thread. You can't easily verify service level agreements or SLAs based on a thumbs up emoji from a contractor.
that makes total sense.
Yeah,
Suddenly you have hundreds of photos of cracked sidewalks, burned out bulbs, overflowing bins scrolling past every single day.
exactly.
How do you track what has actually been fixed versus what was just acknowledged?
You simply can't.
And how do you search for a specific structural defect report from 3 weeks ago when the chat has moved on to 100 new issues?
You can't do that either. And that fragmented communication leads to massive data siloing.
Give me an example of how that looks on the ground.
Okay, so one inspector might be highly detailed on their paper form, meticulously noting the exact location of a hazard.
While another just scribbles a check mark.
Exactly. Then those paper forms sit on a desk for 2 days before an administrator manually types them into an Excel sheet.
Oh, man.
And by the way, relying on massive Excel spreadsheets for mission-critical municipal data is a terrifying prospect.
Oh, absolutely. I think anyone who has worked in operations knows the sheer visceral terror of having an Excel sheet with 10,000 rows of crucial data,
Yes.
and you accidentally sort it by the wrong column without expanding the selection.
It's the worst feeling.
And suddenly your dates don't match your defect reports, and you've basically corrupted the entire year's maintenance record.
It is a logistical nightmare waiting to happen. And a critical consequence of these hidden gaps is that they remain completely invisible to upper management until disaster strikes.
Because the dashboard looks fine.
Right. The management team might look at the dashboard and think everything is running smoothly because the WhatsApp chat is relatively quiet or the Excel sheets look tidy. But the reality only surfaces in the worst possible ways.
Like what? What's the breaking point?
Usually, it's a major safety incident where a hazard was reported but lost in the shuffle.
Wow.
Or it's a flood of angry resident complaints reaching a local representative. Or, very commonly, completely failed internal audits.
Because they can't find the paperwork.
Right. Imagine trying to prove to a municipal auditor that a specific public safety inspection was carried out on a retaining wall 6 months ago.
And your only proof is a blurry, non-timestamped photo in a massive chat thread.
Or a coffee-stained piece of paper in a basement filing cabinet.
Jeez.
It is just not a sustainable architectural framework for a modern city.
Which brings us to the core shift our material explores today. Enter the strategists.
Yes.
Specifically, a company mentioned in our text called Com360.
Right, Com360.
They specialize in helping organizations escape this exact manual tech debt. They step into these chaotic operational environments, analyze the frontline workflows, and completely redesign them into structured digital processes.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it is vital to understand that this isn't simply about replacing a piece of paper with a digital form on an iPad.
That's a huge distinction.
It's a very common misconception. People hear digital workflow and think it's just a UI upgrade.
Right, just making it look prettier.
Exactly, but it's not. It is about fundamentally strengthening operational governance through immutable, verifiable records.
Immutable meaning they can't be changed after the fact.
Correct. When you implement a structured digital process, you are standardizing data capture across the board. You enforce accountability at the architectural level of the software.
Every action is logged, tracked, and visible in real time.
Every single one.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting to me. The financial stakes.
Oh, this is massive.
We aren't just talking about making the workday a little less frustrating for an estate officer or saving some trees by using less paper. The material goes deep into the concept of hidden profit leakage.
Yes.
And it's not just basic administrative overhead.
No, hidden profit leakage is a critical operational concept. It represents the slow, continuous bleed of resources due to inefficiencies.
And it adds up fast.
It cascades through the entire financial structure of a town council. Yeah. I mean, yes, there is the immediate administrative waste.
Like an officer writing notes on site.
Right. Writing notes, driving back, handing it to an assistant who spends an hour manually typing it into a database, who then drafts an email to dispatch a contractor.
So many steps.
That is multiple human touch points duplicating effort and wasting paid hours. But the real leakage happens in procurement and capital expenditure.
Unpack that a bit for us. How does an unwieldy WhatsApp chat affect capital expenditure?
Think about it. If you don't have structured, verifiable data on how often a specific elevator breaks down or how long it takes a specific contractor to fix a drainage issue.
How do you negotiate your next contract?
You can't. You negotiate your next multi-million-dollar vendor contract completely blind. If you can't prove a contractor consistently failed to perform preventative maintenance and a critical water pump fails 5 years early as a result, the town council has to absorb that massive capital replacement cost.
And that is hidden profit leakage.
That is exactly.
So the bad data directly leads to misallocated annual budgets.
Precisely.
You end up paying for ghost invoicing.
Oh, ghost invoicing is huge. Contractors billing for work you can't definitively verify they even did.
Or you overpay for emergency fixes because your preventative maintenance tracking is basically non-existent.
Right.
The document actually notes that by implementing these structured digital workflows, organizations can recover substantial operational efficiency. We're talking annual savings easily reaching into the hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars.
Which easily covers the cost of the platform itself.
Many times over, I'd imagine.
Easily. It shifts the entire organization from a reactive posture.
Running around putting out fires.
Exactly, to a proactive, data-driven posture. That is why workflow optimization is no longer viewed as just a neat technology upgrade.
It's an essential strategic initiative.
It is required to protect the financial integrity of municipal operations.
Okay, so we've talked about the theory, the structural flaws of manual systems, the big financial numbers. Let's bring this down to the ground level for you listening.
Good idea.
How does this actually look in practice? The source provides 4 specific real-world use cases that really illustrate this shift from manual chaos to digital order. Let's tag team these.
Sure.
Let's start with a baseline of all this. Estate inspections. In the old system, an estate officer is walking around a residential block with a clipboard.
And it's highly subjective.
Right. One officer writes, lobby looks okay. Another writes, needs sweeping.
But in the COM360 digital workflow model, that same officer uses a structured digital checklist on a mobile device.
On an app.
Right. And structured is the key word here. The app uses conditional logic. They are guided through specific criteria.
So if they spot a safety hazard, like a cracked pavement tile,
they don't just write it down. The app forces them to capture time-stamped, geotagged photo evidence directly within the system.
Which completely changes the baseline data. It's no longer an opinion.
It's an objective, verifiable data point with exact coordinates.
That's brilliant.
And that data is instantly synchronized with the central cloud system. There are no lost files, no delayed reporting. Management can see the condition of the estate the second the inspection is finished.
And I imagine that structured data feeds into a centralized dashboard.
Exactly, allowing management to start spotting trends. They might notice that lighting fixtures in one specific block are failing at twice the rate of others.
Indicating a potential electrical issue rather than just burned out bolts.
You've got it.
But finding the hazard is only half the battle, right?
Yeah.
What happens when that officer actually needs a contractor to fix that collapsed drain they just photographed?
That brings us to the second use case, maintenance reporting and automated dispatch.
Right, because under the manual methods, someone has to act as a middleman. The officer reports it, an admin logs it, someone identifies the right contractor,
Looks at their contact info.
sends an email. It's a massive human bottleneck.
And human bottlenecks create delays.
So how does the software fix it?
With a structured digital workflow, we utilize automated dispatch protocols, often through API integrations.
Okay.
When that officer logs the collapsed drain and categorizes it in the app, the system's logic takes over. It knows exactly which contractor holds the SLA for drainage in that specific precinct.
So it routes the task without human intervention.
Completely. The system automatically pings the contractor's system or mobile app with the exact GPS location, the priority level, and the photos of the defect.
No one has to go back to the office to make a phone call.
No. The workflow handles the dispatch instantly. This drastically reduces the time between a defect being identified and a contractor being mobilized.
Which leads perfectly to the third scenario. And honestly, this one seems to have the highest stakes. Contractor accountability.
Oh, this is where the system really pays for itself.
Because once that broken drain is assigned, how does the town council know the contractor actually did the work, did it well, and did it on time?
The manual system is incredibly vulnerable to disputes here.
Yeah, the contractor says they fixed it on Tuesday. A resident complains it's still broken on Thursday. You end up in this endless he said, she said dynamic.
This is where the technology provides a massive architectural shift. With a structured digital workflow, management isn't relying on trust or delayed invoices.
They use geofencing, right?
Yes, geofencing and immutable verifiable records. When the contractor receives the job, their mobile application tracks their response time.
Okay.
To even open the job ticket and begin work, The app's geofencing might require them to physically be on site at those exact GPS coordinates.
Wow. That completely eliminates ghost invoicing right there.
Yeah.
You can't claim you were on site if the system knows you weren't.
Exactly. And when they finish the repair, they cannot simply close the ticket and generate an invoice.
What do they have to do?
The workflow dictates that they must upload their own time-stamped, geotagged photographic evidence of the completed repair.
So the system cross-references the before and after data.
It completely solves the dispute problem because you have a rigid, verifiable record of the work.
That's incredible.
It protects the town council from paying for incomplete jobs, but it also protects honest contractors from being unfairly penalized for issues outside their control. It enforces the service level agreements objectively.
It's a brilliant way to clean up the procurement and payment pipeline. Now, let's look at the final use case, which brings it right back to the people actually living in these estates. Resident incident management.
This is the one people experience the most.
Right, we have all been there. You spot a water leak in the communal hallway, or you see vandalism in the park and you call the hotline or send an email.
And if that call goes to a disorganized manual management office, it might get jotted on a sticky note.
Or buried in a generic info-at inbox.
And completely forgotten.
Which creates massive friction and distrust between residents and local government.
Absolutely. But with the digital workflow, that resident report is integrated into the exact same ecosystem we just discussed.
So it's not just an email anymore.
Right. When a resident reports an issue, perhaps through a municipal app or a web portal, it triggers a structured process. It becomes a tracked metric.
Guaranteeing proper documentation from the moment it is received.
Exactly. The system assigns a priority level, routes it to the correct maintenance team, and, crucially, starts a ticking clock on the response time based on internal KPIs.
So it can't be ignored.
No. It ensures that a resident's complaint doesn't just disappear into a black hole. It forces a rapid, documented response and allows the management team to actually close the loop on the issue.
So what does this all mean? Let's take a step back and look at the journey of this deep dive.
It's been quite a shift.
We started in a world of operational blind spots. We looked at town councils and management companies buried under the immense pressure of maintaining rapidly expanding residential infrastructure.
Trying to hold it all together with paper checklists.
Terrifyingly fragile Excel spreadsheets.
And endless WhatsApp notifications.
It was a system where operational inefficiencies, hidden profit leakage, and delayed maintenance were just accepted as the cost of doing business.
Until they boiled over into audit failures or safety incidents.
Exactly. And then we transitioned into the reality of digital workflow optimization provided by strategic partners like Com360.
We explored how stripping away the unstructured data and replacing it with rigid, automated, and trackable digital processes doesn't just clear off desks.
It fundamentally transforms operational discipline at the architectural level.
It brings absolute geofenced accountability to contractors.
It dramatically improves response times through automated dispatch protocols.
It ensures complete audit readiness at all times.
And it recovers massive amounts of financial leakage that can be reinvested into the community.
It takes a sprawling, chaotic web of manual tasks and turns it into a streamlined, financially efficient machine.
And for you listening, it is worth remembering that these unseen systems, these API integrations, structured workflows, and automated dispatch protocols are exactly what dictate the safety, the cleanliness, and the overall quality of the spaces you live in every single day.
They really do. The efficiency of your local town council's back-end software is quite literally the reason a broken streetlight is fixed before you even notice it was out.
Or why your local taxes are utilized effectively rather than being lost to administrative waste.
It truly is the invisible architecture of a well-run community.
And that leaves us with one final thought to mull over. Our material today focused heavily on how these digital workflows provide real-time visibility and strict accountability for the management teams and the auditors.
It is entirely about internal control and optimizing the back end right now.
Right. But looking toward the future, what if this granular real-time data was eventually made transparent to the residents themselves?
That would be a game changer.
Imagine a world where you report a municipal water leak or a broken park bench in your neighborhood, and you immediately receive a secure link. And just like you can track a pizza delivery on your phone, watching the driver turn onto your street, you could track the exact status of your neighborhood repair.
You could see that the contractor was dispatched at 2:00 p.m. via the automated system.
You could see they arrived at 2:45 p.m. based on the geofence data.
And you could even view the time-stamped photo of the finished repair by 3:30 p.m.
How would that level of ultimate granular transparency change the relationship, the trust, and the dynamic between citizens and their local government?
It is a fascinating frontier to consider as this technology becomes the new standard.
It really is. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep looking closely at your neighborhoods and keep questioning how the systems around you are built and maintained. Until next time.